Why would someone try to intentionally ram into a Jewish center or attack a Jewish child for speaking Hebrew or wearing a Star of David? Why would people murder Jews for being Jews? 6 million of them in the Holocaust and 1,200 on October 7th. This kind of hatred is so bizarre, so terrible, so extreme, so difficult to comprehend or make sense of, so tragic. All Israel News reports that during the Second International Conference on Combating Anti-Semitism in Jerusalem last week, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee and author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza identified the root of anti-Semitism as a spiritual matter. The conservative evangelical Christians were the last two speakers at the conference, and both said the real issue with anti-Semitism is not political or even racial. It is a spiritual problem. Huckabee spoke first, where he was asked to address the confluence of Marxism and anti-Semitism on the political left in the United States. And Huckabee immediately pointed to what he sees as the core problem. He said, well, let's get real clear that what we're dealing with is Jew hatred. If we use the word anti-Semitism outside of our own circle, we certainly can use it here. It always leads to a level of ambiguity. But if we just say, look, this is Jew hatred, why do people hate Jews? The real answer is a spiritual one, Huckabee continued. That may be offensive to some people, but when people hate God, they're naturally going to hate people who throughout history, from the time on Mount Moriah right here in this city, have represented the ones that God first spoke to in a very personal and real way and said, you're going to take this message, you're going to create this magnificent land, and through you the world is going to be blessed. Noting the growing alignment of atheist Marxist philosophy along with often spiritualized forms of environmentalism and humanism that tend to exist on the political left, Huckabee continued, but now, if you don't believe there's a God, or you want to believe that you are your own God or that the environment is your God, you'd rather worship the creation rather than the creator. If you reject basic spiritual premises because you had rather live in a secular world that denies the very existence of God, then your first target is naturally going to be Jews. Huckabee also reminded the Christians in the audience that those who hate the Jews often hate Christians as well, for similar reasons. Huckabee explained, now what Christians have to understand is the next target is going to be them. And that's why I often try to remind people, like it or not, we are in this together.